today?
Well, first of all, my first start, I was a little nervous, but I feel like that's also normal. But yeah, I couldn't, get into foul trouble. I know too earlier. I mean, late in the second half, like too quick one. But I think my mindset today was to play hard without fouling. Yeah, so yeah.
Brandon, if you could just talk about what you saw out of Cable tonight and both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cable responded really well tonight. Getting your first start is definitely a little nerve-wracking for sure. And I think the way that Cable played tonight is how Cable is. He kind of plays great games for us, and we're going to get out of him, and he just has a killer mentality that he just brings out for the time he's on the court.
And Craig said that he was really impressed with your leadership today. Maybe first half you only get 4 points, but what was it? Do you feel like you were more of a leader today, or was there anything that you think you could point to in what you were able to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Raleigh and Lawson both being out, those are both I would say pretty big anchors for our team. So I feel like it was a step that I knew I needed to take. Kind of just pick up a little bit of the slack from those two. But I thought the team did a great job of responding without them as well. And we approached this game with the right mindset.
How difficult is it to kind of reimagine what your offense or defense looks like with two of your key players out and trying to figure out the lineups and that kind of stuff?
It's tricky. You gotta you have more players, but the thing is this team was built for this. We have the depth and we have the players to live pretty much without Raleigh and Lawson. I feel like last year when we had some injuries with Gabe and Raleigh, that kind of hurt us with not having the depth that we needed. And this year I feel like we have that, and so we have the players who can step up and make the plays and fill in those roles.
What did you guys think of the defensive effort just tonight, especially considering there's been a couple games on the road where it's been a bit more of a struggle?
I mean, I think we just have that. It's just got to be a mindset every time, and it's got to be our identity. I think we have great games and we have responses. I feel like when we come in from a loss, I think we respond really well. Excuse me. But we just got to have that for every single game of just dominate on the defensive end, get stops, be putting in multiple efforts every possession, and just letting it kind of come on the offensive end and just focusing mainly on defense and letting that really feed into our offense.
Are there times where you guys are kind of surprised by what Davon does, or you guys kind of see that enough that you now can understand his game and how he operates?
I mean, we see him at practice almost every day, so it's not really surprising. We know he can. That's what he do. So yeah, and we trust it. So yeah.
To you, do you feel like he's getting more comfortable out there now that? I mean, it's only been 7-8 games. I can't remember how many it's been.
Yeah, he's definitely getting comfortable out there. He's getting back to he's finding his old self. Yeah, he's definitely getting more comfortable. So yeah.
Well, first of all, I got to say this sweatshirt I'm wearing, I felt like I was going to a Christmas, felt like Christmas Day out there with this, play little cards and eat some nice food, but we got through that. Anyway, I was trying to be funny, but it's not that funny, but it was a good joke within the staff. Anyway, good win for us. It's been I mean, obviously it's Thursday this week, but it's been a little bit of a, I don't know what the right word is, maybe a little bit of a turbulent week, or we've had to do a lot of different things this week, just with the injuries to Wooster and Lawson, Lovering, and so I'm really proud of our effort. I thought we really, really competed hard. Loved how we defended. These guys are a tough prep. Wayne Tinkle's a great coach, and these guys have had I know the record isn't what they want it to be in league play, but they've had a ton of, tight games and in games to the very end. And this is a team that was up on Stanford by, 12 with 8 minutes to play and took UCLA to the wire, et cetera, et cetera. So beat USC. They just, every time you play them, they run a million different sets. So you just, your preparation, all the different defenses they throw at you and their different ball screen coverages, and they play a lot of guys. So it's a big prep. And at the same time, you're trying to prep that and get your guys to be the very best we can and kind of redefining who we are. Knowing that, those two guys specifically weren't going to play. So I'm really proud of not only how we played today, I thought we played how we practiced. Loved how we executed our stuff specifically, really on both ends of the floor, but specifically on the defensive end. We were not good on that end of the floor against Stanford, and part of that was Stanford, but a lot of it was us. And so loved how on point we were. Jordan Pope is a really good player. He's had an unbelievable year. Coming into tonight's game, over the last 5 games, he was averaging 21.7 points a game. And so tonight was the first night that he's been held under double digits all year. So to be able to do that, it's team defense. It's individual. Davon Smith did an unbelievable job. Got a little loose early and just settled in and had a great mentality tonight. And then because they're running him off all these staggers and ball screens and single pins and back, you have to be really on point with your team defense. It's not just one guy. All 5 guys got to be on point with their spacing and jumping to the ball and making plays. I thought Cole Bajema had his best defensive game of the year. I thought he was really good tonight, and I see him making strides on that end of the floor. And Keba, Keba gets 18 and 15 with 7 offensive boards, and just such a force and menace down there, and just is coming into his own. He missed a couple early. You could see him a little frustrated, and it's NBA, next best action, right? Just keep pushing forward, and he did that in a great way. And then Brandon, you guys know I don't talk a ton about individual guys, but I thought he really settled in tonight and was a great leader for us in a stabilizing force and a pillar and a rock for our team that we need every night to look to, right? Just for that studying influence, especially without those 2 guys. And so we need that out of him. And Gabe was Gabe. So great team effort. I thought we really got the ball going. Another game with less than 10 turnovers, which is a great number for us. 10 or less is going to be really good, especially the way we play up and down. We got to get better at finishing some plays. We missed a lot of just chip shots early. Got to be able to finish those plays. Some advantage stuff in transition where, 2-on-1s, 3-on-1, 3-on-2, where I felt like we settled a little bit instead of just getting to the rim and finishing. So that'll be a point of emphasis. And then we got to be able to make our free throws. Go 11 for 21 again tonight. And it's just one of those things right now that we got to be able to figure out. We had a couple of really good free throw shooters up there tonight that missed. Keba goes 4 for 4, which was great to see. But that stuff will work itself out. So any questions?
It seemed early you were switching up your lineups pretty quickly. Were you just trying to find something that worked, or were you still trying to kind of get into that knowing that these guys still haven't all played together?
Well, it's always a fine line. We got a couple guys that we took Cole out in the first 3.5 minutes or so, and Keba, because I wanted Ben to get a feel for the game right away, and I wanted to get Hunter in the game because we feel like they're gonna play more minutes now, right? So just getting them a feel for the game. I thought those guys did a great job. I thought Luka played really well tonight too, just really active with his hands and with steals. We had one bad run there in the first half, and I was probably a little bench heavy with too many guys at the same time in the game, if that makes sense. But we're different now, right? So we got to play. So we got to work these guys in and get them a real game experience and play and find a rhythm. Basketball is about rhythm and timing, and some of these guys haven't had a whole lot of minutes playing with Davon, some of them have played with Davon a lot, but just not recently. Right, and basketball is a game of rhythm and timing, and we got to be able to find that with Jaden Teed on the floor, and now Luka is going to be playing consistently, right? And Hunter finding his rhythm. Hunter had a really good week this week. Thought he freed his mind up and was really good. I thought he played well tonight as well. So, But then we really settled in. You know, that late in that first half, we rode our starters. Those guys played a lot of minutes in that first half, and we played them a lot early in that second half because I thought they were just in a great groove and had great synergy together, and it was easy to see.
Cable, we've seen him pick up a couple early fouls recently. How big was it to just be able to not have to worry about him getting fouls? How that impacted you?
Yeah, it's a great point. That's been an issue for us, and it's not just Kaba. It's been Kaba and Lawson, and it's like it alternates. It's one day it's Kaba, next game it's Lawson, next game it's Lawson, next game it's Kaba, and it just kind of. And we had a long talk yesterday in a meeting, him and I in a meeting, and he plays with so much force. He just plays so hard, and he's so strong. So like, you know, I think for him, like he's just competing. And all of a sudden, these guys are getting dislodged by 3 feet. He's just so strong. But now, and that's a normal thing for a young player, right? Young players tend to get more fouls because they're a little out of position, a little overzealous, right? And so, but that's a step now that he needs to take. And the other thing we did to help him tonight is we doubled the post a lot more tonight. And generally, if you double the post, you're not going to get in all those one-on-one matchups where you can tend to get in some foul issue. Tend to get some foul trouble. So I thought that helped. You know, 24 for them. Who's a good player. He's a physical. I mean, he's a big dude. You know, he has 0 points and 0 rebounds. So we did a really good job with him. But that's going to be important for us, specifically with Kaba.
You said you're going to have to use more of that bench long term.
Yeah.
How long term is this for Lawson and Raleigh?
I don't know that exactly. I would be surprised if they play on Sunday, to be quite frank. And then we'll have to see, you know, next week where things are at. You know, it's just amazing. These guys are young, fit. One thing I've learned about really good athletes is they recover quicker than the average Joe. And so we'll see. You know, it just depends. I mean, you just never know how these injuries go with recovery, and it could be longer than we think too. I just don't know. But I know our mindset has to be, right, prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Davon Smith tied a career high in three-point makes with 3 against UCLA, had the triple-double against Stanford, almost had a double-double here again tonight. What's his emergence meant for this team, and what's the ceiling going forward if he's playing?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm really proud of, like I said at the top, I'm so proud of how he guarded tonight. I mean, he took on the challenge. That's one thing I've learned about Davon. He'll accept a challenge, and he's a competitive guy. And so just keeping him locked in, which he's been so great at, and just how every play, you got to be on point. You're not going to be perfect, right? But I loved how he competed tonight, specifically on the defensive end. Because he made it difficult on that guy, and that guy's a very good player. But just, you know how he just takes care of the ball. He probes, seems to play at his speed, and he's very, very fast. I mean, you saw that one play in transition where he kind of gave that in-out dribble and against the 5-man, and he's just right to the rim, right? But yet he has that ability to. Sometimes when you're so fast and athletic like that, that's just how you always play, and he has that ability to just play at his speed. And I think that's what the great ones do in any sport. They play at their speed. And he does that. And so I love how he can Nash dribble and find the open man. And he plays with a lot of force, but yet graceful and patient. And so, and then he's just fitting, like he's really impacting the game in so many ways, but yet he's still like really fitting into what we do and what we're trying to accomplish, right, as a team. And that's the beauty of basketball. You got to do it all. And he's been able to do it all. And you can see he's really, it's easy to say he's hitting his stride when you get a triple-double, but I would say he played a lot better tonight than he did the other night, quite frankly. And maybe he didn't have a triple-double, but I thought he was way better overall, because you got to do everything in basketball. You don't just play offense, right? You don't just play defense. You got to do everything. And so I'm really proud of how he played tonight. He was a big-time anchor for us.
Is there anything about Cole's game lately that's changed that's allowed him to maybe feel a little bit more loose out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's been an adjustment for him, right? Like, we play a lot different than Washington. And I think you can see growth in intensity and communication. Those are things that matter in winning. It's easy everyone wants to look at offense. It's all and I get it. But, you gotta be able to score, but you gotta be able to guard. And I feel like he's taken a big jump here, probably the last 10 days or so, of understanding what it takes on a consistent basis. And I just think his look, he's got a different look now, right here. So hopefully he can continue to keep pressing forward because we have a lot of season left and we're going to need him.